All right, guys, it's been a while, but this is an update. So, a couple months ago, I told you I was buying the Flex radio, and there was a problem with that in that I ordered it back in early December, early-ish, and they said it would be here in late January, and now it is early March. So, late January came, February came, and then I emailed them, and I was like, hey guys, what's going on? They said, oh, didn't you get the email? Then they sent me this really long, Flex sent me this really long email talking about it was basically full of excuses. We have had this with this provider, this manufacturer. I was like, I don't even care, you know? At some point, I'm like, I'm done. I just don't want to, I don't get why Flex had such trouble making and getting radios, but yet Yaesu and ICOM did not. Anyway, I wasn't that thrilled about having the radio. I wanted it, but I wasn't that thrilled. It still had its problems. I still had to run an Ethernet cable. I still had to run an Ethernet cable to the actual radio. So I was still going to have to run a cable. I just thought that might be easier. And I bought the Maestro also. So anyway, just so you know, this video, I'm going to have chapters below. So if there's a part you don't like, just skip to the next chapter. You can see at the bottom of the YouTube video, you can click forward and forward. So anyway, I'm not really going to do an unboxing of the radio I got. I'm kind of doing an unveiling. This is the first time I've ever gotten this radio. I'm pretty excited about it. So I ordered this on Wednesday night from HRO, and it came just now, and it is Friday night. It came in 2 days. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was expecting 7, 10, 12 days. It came in 2. So let's get this thing open and take a look at it. And I'll tell you, this is the Yaesu FT-DX10. So it's a DX10. I'm still trying to get my head around that. I think it was just introduced last December. So it's pretty new radio, not very many videos out there. Hopefully I'll be making a whole bunch of videos about this. But the number one reason I wanted to trade in my ICOM for this or something else was because, well, really I wanted to be more remote. I wanted to be able to take the radio around with me, which I didn't achieve. But I also wanted a bigger screen because the ICOM is just that big. This radio can be hooked up to a monitor, so I'm really excited about that. I don't have the cable with me. It's not the HDMI, it's a DVI or something, and I don't have the DVI, so I have to order it, or I have some somewhere, but anyway, so it's Friday night, I got this radio, I'm gonna play with it. Of course there's storms coming, of course there's lightning outside, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to do anything. It's raining right now, and there's just storm after storm after storm. Well, I said I wasn't going to do an unboxing, but here I am doing an unboxing. Why not? Some people like them, you know? All right, here's the dreaded peanuts. Oh my God, I hate these things. I absolutely hate these things. I gotta say, so what's funny is someone made a comment on my last video and they said, hey, you should really look at the DX10. And I was like, oh, okay. I took a look at it and I kind of fell in love with it right away. So, you know, you would be amazed at how much the comments I get from my YouTube channel, how much they influence me actually. The positive comments, not the negative. I delete those. Anyway, so I highly recommend you keep your box. Always keep your radio boxes, and I know it's a pain to keep them, but if you go to sell like I did my ICOM, I think it gives it more value. I think it makes the buyer feel like you've taken care of things. And people do like that. I sold my Yaesu 897 and I had the manual. Well, I forgot the manual. I lost it. And the guy that was buying it asked for it. And he said he really wanted the actual manual. And later on, after I sold it, I found it. And I felt bad because I couldn't contact him after that. Anyway, my point is keep your box, keep your manuals, keep everything original. And I think it could add up to $100 value in the radio. Because when people buy something, they want to have all the original stuff, all the extra wires, and it's a good place to keep your extra wires. And granted, I hate having boxes laying around, but I'm even going to keep my packing slip. All right, this radio is about $1,700, which is about $1,300 less than I was spending on the Flex radio, by the way. Anyway, pretty heavy. It's actually quite a bit bigger than the 7300. You know what I'm going to do? I'm not even going to open the manual. I'm going to leave it in its case here, in its bag, and just leave it in the box because You can do all this online, so why open it? Might as well keep it with the original box too. Also, I got this at Ham Radio Outlet. I'm not affiliated with them at all whatsoever. I paid full price for this, 100%. And tax too, tax was shockingly high. Remember the days when there was no tax if you bought things off the internet? So, you know, I also like to make videos like this because when I can go back on my own and watch my own videos and see when I first opened something, how I felt about it and stuff like that. And man, it's actually not that big. It's not that much bigger than the 7300. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep everything. I'm gonna go ahead and take the plastic off. I have mixed emotions about doing this. Sometimes I feel like guilty, and other times I feel good about it. I like seeing how clear it is. But now I think it's not protected anymore. I'm actually another thing this has is 2 USB ports, and it supports a mouse. So I'm gonna try to not ever touch the touchscreen because there's no need to. Now the first thing I wanna know is I find when I sit, I'd actually rather have it up more like that, you know, because it's still too low. If your eye's up here, it's like that. So I'm thinking about building a wood stand for this, maybe that tall, so raise it up in kind of eye level. So that's it for the radio. The rest is all in here. Promised myself I wouldn't do a unboxing video, but here I am. And I mean, it doesn't come with much. I'm literally gonna keep all these bags, just why not? Put them in the box. Another night in the box. Get another night in the box. All right, there's a power cord. And I get the pleasure of putting power poles on this once again. Okay, so I hooked up the Anderson power poles to my TP30S WII, link in the description, power supply back there. My plan is this. So I had this set up before we got here. I'm gonna have a mouse. This mouse is going to connect to this radio, which I haven't done yet. I've got power to the power supply. I've got the computer over here. This is my internet computer. This is going to be my mom gave me this. It was an old computer and I reinstalled Windows today on it. I'm going to use N1MM. There's a QSO party this weekend, Oklahoma QSO party. And as I get to know this radio, I'm going to share more and more with you, but I'm going to try to be on this weekend on this radio on the QSO party in Oklahoma as a stationary station. This is going to be my monitor that's connected to this, which I don't have the wire for yet. When that happens, I'll show you that as well. So this is the first time ever I'm firing this radio up, and I do not have an antenna connected yet. So it's in that 3D sort of, I could hook up a dummy load to it, I suppose. Maybe I'll do that. So this is the 300 watts dry dummy load MFJ Mighty Fine Junk 260C. I really like MFJ, by the way. So I'm going to hook up a dummy load to this and just, you know, be safe. I'm really glad I have a dummy load. I never used to have one. I spent over 10 years before I finally got one of these things. So there's only one place to connect it back here. There's only one connector. Now I feel safe, you know. I can transmit. I've never used this before. Let's plug in the mouse. Let's see if that works. So all I did was plug in a mouse. Wires everywhere. And nothing, well, it just worked. Works perfectly. So I want to just, you know, how intuitive is this thing? I don't know. I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't know what I'm doing. The first thing I want to do is check the power. So I know that this is the function key. I'm going to go over here to power. Where is it? There it is, 100 watts. Okay, now that I've selected it, I know I can do this. So I'm going to drop it down to 15 watts. Why not? 17125. And I'm going to transmit. And let's see what happens. So there's not going to be any activity because there's no antenna. Let's see if we can transmit. First of all, let's tune it. tuning a dummy load. All right. CQ test, N9YO, CQ test into a dummy load. So now I'm wondering, I see my power. I want to see the SWR. So there's the SWR. Now the SWR is down here. Let's see. Let's hit tune again. Okay, should be a perfect SWR with a tune. There's attenuation, IPO, roofing filter, AGC, N9YO test, N9YO test. Okay, so far it seems to be working fine. Maybe I'll try a key. I still need to get familiar with everything. There's just like lots of buttons, you know, and it's not that intuitive at first. But then again, it is. So I know you can click here. And I don't know if it can take a keyboard. Maybe, I think it can take a keyboard as well. So how do I change band? So I'm going to go here to band, 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 band. I use my mouse maybe to go to 14. There. It uses this upper wheel here, 14. Then I'm going to hit tune again. You have to hold it down. I think this is just like the ICOM. It has to be 3 to 1 or better to tune, to match, not really tune. Anyway, CQ test, N9YO, CQ test into a dummy load. I wonder if that changed the power. Because just because I changed bands, it may have already, it's still on 15 watts. All right, guys, this is just an intro. This is what I've done. I'm going to hook up an antenna to this. It's rainy out, though. I'm afraid of lightning coming. But then we'll give it a test. Talk to you later. Okay, so I just hooked up my antenna for the first time. This is the high-end fed 102040, I believe. And look at all that activity. I'm going to turn this off. CW. Now what I want to do is there's not much there's too much contrast here. So I'm wondering if I can change the colors on that. Let's see, it's probably in here somewhere. Colors, contrast. Okay, so I made a little progress. I've been able to change the colors. I don't like the reds, so just kind of messing around. I can go to these levels here and change how much I see, how much between signal and background noise. That's something I wanted to see right off the bat. The colors you can choose from. This was important. I didn't like that red. I don't like red for some reason. It feels cheap to me. How weird is that? And those are a couple of things I wanted to find out. And I'm hearing this person. So trying to figure out how to use the spot on this. Someone mentioned that these buttons are too close. So you end up tapping the dial quite a bit. So I'm wondering if you hit spot, if you just need to tap it. If you need to tap it or hold it down. He's not signaling fast enough. Come on. I feel like I wish my line went down further here. That way I could see if I was... Okay, well this is interesting. So when I do the noise blanker NB and a DNR,
I get up a lot in the night. Like last night, I think I was up about every hour and a half, and it isn't to run.
it sounds quite a bit better when you put the NB and DNR on.
I do get up melatonin or something like that. I do use it there while I'm up. That's just not the reason that I have to, as far as I can tell, that's not the reason I wake up. I know
I've noticed I'm hitting that quite a bit, messing around with these dials, so The lock button will keep that from happening.
Thank you, and 73's to you.
Now what happens if we take the DNR off? It's much noisier.
Whiskey Alpha 3, 1, 2, 3, Whiskey Bravo November.
That's rude.
The suffix is Washington Blue Norway, over.
Wow, look at that. I turned the DNR.
Whiskey Alpha 3, Washington Blue.
Wow. Look at that. DNR. So I'm real happy with these filters. So I found the decoder. You got to set your speed to match whoever's. So 20's too fast. That's right. That's pretty good. Oh, that's real good. This is the decoder, and it's working. Oh, I'm happy with that. So you have to, so to do this, let me turn it down. I had to go to menu, and then I go down here to decode on and off. And then you have to go up to the speed and match the speed that they're sending, otherwise there'll be big gaps. CW speed is right here, and once that is set, and he's going about 13 words per minute. Oh, look at that, in step-wise increase in distance, but none as dramatic as, oh, this is so cool. I officially love this radio. This is awesome. So if I'm trying to copy, so I can copy CW, but I have to write it down. And this will be a nice backup for me. So that way, if I miss something, it will still work. It's working pretty good. The first radio I've ever had that's decoded. Well, I guess my Elecraft does, but it honestly, it doesn't do very good a job. I mean, I'm not doing too bad for not reading the instructions at all. I watched a few videos and I figured out how to decode, and I can get around on this radio, but there's still a lot for me to learn. Don't fully understand the filters yet. Lots to go. So let's try the first ever contact on this radio. Now my good friend Gerald Trimble gave me this. It's a straight key. We're gonna give it a try. I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, I'm just gonna try it. So it takes this big type of plug here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in. Okay, so I don't think I'm transmitting right now. I'm gonna do straight key, which I have not, literally haven't done it in months. Let's see what happens. So I'm gonna go to decode off 7055. I think that I'm gonna practice for a second. Okay, so what I gotta do is tune. I don't hear anyone out there. So I'm gonna tune on 40 meters, 7055. That's a good antenna, that high end fed. Here we go. All right. I'm going to call CQ. Okay, right away the delay is wrong. So it's not long enough because it's turning on and off. So I'm going to go into try to find delay. I have no idea. CW settings. There we go. There we go. New York. It's the best I can do, man. I said I have a new radio, DX10. I set my SKCC number. I got his. Patience. Just have patience. I don't know. I may have faded out. All right. Well, that's good. Anyway, first contact ever, 7056. Let's put that in the books.